Okay, man. I cannot believe I cannot believe. Oh my gosh. I just did I just did. Y'all not gonna believe this. Y'all not gonna believe this. I already did this, and then when it came time for me to publish, I spoke for 31 minutes, and then I couldn't believe. See, this is what I'm talking about when it comes to entrepreneurship and when you're just doing something. Sometimes things just don't work. It just don't work. So you just gotta keep going. I was talking about overcoming self doubt. Sometimes it is the craziest thing. So, um, I've now done this. I think I'm going on my fourth time now here, and I uh, I don't know why it wasn't working. I did get a notice that my internet was unstable, but goodness gracious, like for real, like for real, y'all gonna do this to me, right? Even when I'm trying to do my live streaming, so I cannot believe, I cannot believe this. But you know what? The show must go on. This is what goes down. It says that it's live. It say that we good, and so now I'm just going to keep it going because this what happens when you doing what you're supposed to be doing. It doesn't always work, but you got to keep going. Just keep going. Can I just say for this, we talking about overcoming self doubt, the number one premise is now keep going. Look, I spoke for 31 minutes. When I look at the playback, go to the last video, it was only for 2 minutes. I'm just like, man, what happened? What happened? So, hey, we're gonna keep it going because I want to make sure I get this message out to you because you're watching this because you said, hey, look, is this business going to work? And I believe it can. If you believe it can, I believe it can. And I'm going to tell you in the 30 minutes that I spoke before, I'm going to tell you this again because I want you to understand that when I was researching this overcoming self-doubt for business, and it's just not for business, this is for the person as well that think like, hey, I want to do this business because it starts with you. It starts with you. Okay. I wanted to get some data. I wanted to get some research, but I'm saying, you know what? Let's use AI. We're going to use this artificial intelligence. And thank you. I have one on there. Give me the thumbs up. Thank you. I appreciate you. I want to tell you what ChatGPT said for overcoming self doubt as a business owner. And I thought it was kind of funny because they said when it comes to overcoming self doubt, they said this and acknowledge it. They say don't suppress it. Well, I'm going to tell you if that's the first thing that they're telling you to do, I'm going to say, if you're a robot, that makes sense. I get it. Do it, right? But I'm going to tell you this is what you should be doing. The ground zero, number one thing that you should always come back to, and it doesn't matter what you're doing, are you passionate about it? Are you really passionate about doing this very thing? If you're passionate about it, then why are you doubting this? Because this is a mindset that was given to you from others. Because think if you had this very passion, this very thing, this very business, that one thing from you were a kid, if you had that one thing from day one and you didn't have to think about anything else except for that one thing that you were passionate about, where would you be right now? What would you be doing right now? And this is the part where I love marketing because when I'm marketing when I'm doing consulting, I'm talking about their marketing strategy, not just their tactic. I'm talking about their messaging. Like I want them to share their passion, like you're solving a problem. Like the easiest thing that I even talk about in my book is cookies. So if you're selling a cookie, if you're a baker, and if you're giving them a slice of pie, a slice of cake, a cupcake, a donut, a tart. I know I'm about to get hungry here soon. And someone bites into that, you about to see their eyes light up, or they go, it's not gonna be as good, but they're gonna be like, like this is good. You be like, yeah, I know it's good because this is something you enjoy and they are now enjoying it too. And so I love when I see people that say like, oh yeah, this is what I'm talking about. And so ChatGPT said For the number two, which I was like, hey, look, I give ChatGPT some love. I want to make sure that I put ChatGPT in there too to say, hey, look, I hear you saying you talking about you doing things for people, you doing things for me too. I don't use ChatGPT. I don't pay for Chat. I use another one. I use Claude. But I'm like, it says number two, you got to reconnect with your why, and I'm going to tell you that's important. You have to have a why. That's important. Again, if you're robotic, but I'm going to tell you, for 26 years being an entrepreneur, when I first started being an entrepreneur, people didn't want to like acknowledge that entrepreneur was real. I'm going to say, you got to do this. This is one of the things that, and I told this story in the last one. I'll tell you this here. Uh, why does it do that? I'm seeing y'all. See what I'm saying? Technology be acting up. It be acting like you a dum dum. It's like, hey, act right, act right. You gotta be honest with yourself. And why are you doubting yourself? You know how I said, like, the number one thing of why you're doubting yourself, that self-doubt, it was that doubt was given to you. And if you were given this back to say, this ain't mine, I'm gonna give it right back to you, because ChatGPT says you gotta reconnect with your why. And I'm like, well, is it reconnecting with your why? Really, what you're doing is being honest with yourself, because the number two thing that I'm going to tell you to do, I'm done with ChatGPT, is I need you to exercise out those demons. Like, your personal demons are becoming your business obstacles. And so this is where that mindset you have to have of like, why this self-doubt is happening is because you're trying to appease people. One of the biggest demons I exercised, and this was in 2017. I went to a family reunion, and this is 25 years after going to the first. This is my second. This probably might be my last too. It was when I walked into my father's home, and I saw all the pictures he had laid out on his little mantle of the table you walked in. And let me just say, I love my dad, but I don't have the relationship that I want with my dad. And and you know how things happen when you like, man, why is this happening to me? I lost my baggage on the way there. And look, I'm coming from the Pacific Northwest. You see all this greenery here in the back. Now over there, it's hot. So I had to go to the store and get some clothes. But here's the beautiful thing, how God works stuff out so beautifully. So my baggage was lost. I was missing. They say it's going to take about 2 days, and it was coming from Dallas. My dad lives in Texarkana, Texas. That's 2.5 hours away. And so this guy I was talking to, his name is Jerome. I met him 2 years prior. I never met him, but we were Marco Poloing like 2, 3, 4, 5 times a day sometimes. And so he's like, hey, this is what's happening, bro. I'll bring it to you. I'm like, what? You'll bring it to me? I'm like, bro, that's like 3 hours. He's like, no, 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 no. Because he was like, he does some work that he was away. And I was like, I don't want to do that to you. He's like, no, no, no. This is you came this far. I can go that far. I was like, okay. So we met. Long story short, we sitting in my dad's kitchen while we're having a good old time outside of the family reunion. And I just started just Niagara Falls, just crying. And he was just like, you didn't see yourself as worthy, but you're worthy. And what I took away from that, and this is another conversation deeper, and we could talk about that later. But this is why I'm telling you this, because I want to help you. Is when I went home, I sold my nonprofit, the nonprofit that I still love to this very day. I loved helping students. Was working with the Portland Trailblazers. I worked with Uber. I had big sponsors. I raised over 200 grand. I was getting a plot of land donated to us. Man, I was crushing it. But when it came back to ground zero, I wasn't passionate about it. What I was passionate about was being loved and being seen, being acknowledged by my dad. So I know I got two people on the chat, so I don't want to get too caught up in this. And if you got questions to ask, please feel free to ask, because I don't want to ignore you. You are on here. I appreciate you being here, but I'm telling the story so that you can see why I'm telling this story, because as a business owner, that's the like, oh, I'm going to own a business, right? You don't say I'm an entrepreneur. You're like, hey, I'm a business owner, because you're immediately putting out fires. And in the Marine Corps, which was like my first professional job, they gave these plans. And in these plans, I was like crushing it, right? I would take this plan and I crush it here, crush it there, crush it there. And I got promoted fast because I just like You give me a plan and I'll crush it, right? Because that's how I was raised. My dad, if I did, I'll get that belt. I get that belt in a heartbeat. I get that belt, y'all. You know what I'm saying when you get that belt. And so when I had that plan, I crushed it. But and this is one of the things I learned in the Marine Corps, is it taught me to execute a plan, but that also meant that it taught me to be reactive. And so as a business owner, you are going to be reactive no matter what, because it's your business. You're going to be putting out fires every single day. But what you're not being told to do, what you have to learn on your own, is you have to initiate, you have to engage, you have to be proactive, you have to create, you have to produce. And when you have self doubt, when you're not passionate about it, you're like, I'm not gonna go out and go networking. I'm not gonna go out and talk to those people. I'm not gonna go out and fail here. Why would I fail? Why would I look bad? Why would I do that? Why would I put myself out there? Because you're not passionate about it. It's easy to not do something you're not passionate about because it's not your core thing. Like I said, I was passionate about doing the work to be seen, but when I came down to doing the work, I came to a crossroad with my nonprofit. They were like, Nathan, we finally got your program certified with the state of Washington. Now you got to become CTE certified. I was like, do I? I didn't realize that I was fighting. I had this inner war with myself, but I didn't know I needed to go do that. And so that was very uh but now I can look back and say, like, oh, I get it back then, but that was like troubling. Like, why do I have to do this? And so this leads me to number 3, which I've already said it, but just so you can see it, because it means something when we see something, um, too. Because I've said it, but now I want you to read it. I want you to do it and see if you're passionate about it. Like if you like to bake cakes, I guarantee you can bake a cake so good somebody will pay for it. And if someone pays for it, you just solve their problem. That means you have a business. Now, now, like my sister is a good example. She can sew. That girl can sew. And I mean, I look at what she do. I'm like, tomorrow you playing. You playing around. You know you could be doing this, but she doesn't want to sew for people because I put certain restrictions and limitations. She loves doing it for herself. Now that's different. Okay, I get that. And I've already pushed and pushed and pushed, but I realized that one of the things that when it comes to like the doubt that we have is and I want to bring it back to ChatGPT. It says build a support circle. That's what they say for number 4. I will use that because your support circle is going to keep you going. And it's funny, it was their number 4. It would be my number 4 too, because this mindset is the number one thing. I'll keep it real. I have those struggles every single day. This is something that you're not. We said in the Marine Corps, practice doesn't make perfect. It just makes permanent. You have to surround. Once you realize that that mindset was given to you, now you say, I gotta find the people that will support the mindset I want to create for myself. So this is where I think it's important that when we start talking about self doubt, just know that it probably wasn't one you created. It was probably one that was given to you because you might be thinking about how other people are looking at you and thinking about how they are going to look at the end result. When the end result, if you baking that cake and people eat that first slice of pie, like, ooh, like, when you get that slice of cake and you're like, man, this hits so good. Like, you got to take your shoes off, man. You like, nah, I got to save this. I want to sit in my chair and eat this. That's the type of, of of problems you're solving, where you put people in another world. And that's why I do what I do now, messaging, but we also call it marketing. I love helping people tell their stories. So when they tell their story of putting their product out there or their service out there, because they love fixing a car or building a ramp or selling food or healing people, it's because That's what God gave them. That's what makes them them. And when you are being 100% you, right? Wait, I got, how do I move my head? When you are 100% being you, and you don't settle, you don't settle. You found what you found it. You found it. But I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and say you ain't gonna have people tell you that you ain't doing what you're supposed to be doing. This is not what's for you. And oh, the here's a good one. They always say, well, how come you can't be like them? Or uh, how they did it is probably how you should be doing it. Well, I know that there are other larger marketing agencies out there. There is, I know, a company that made this logo for me and this slogan called "Just Do It" for these large agencies. But guess what? There's never been another company like that so far, and there won't be. Now there will be new companies and there'll be another slogans, but you got to give people their props and their time. But I can't be them. I can only be me. And if I'm gonna go to sleep every day thinking how I can be like them, I will never, ever, ever love what I do. So I wanted to tell this to you, which is why I'm like, I gotta come back on here and do this again. But I did it in half the amount of time because I want you not to have that doubt. And if you have any doubt, it's because it was given to you. So release it, let it go, tell it to kick rocks. You on to bigger and better things because God has a blessing for you if you just be you, do what you're called to do. And I know, and I don't want to sit here and make a guarantee. I'm not going to make the guarantee. God's going to guarantee you that you will light up because there's nothing like, and I even said this to my daughter. And when I said, when you do the sport, you're going to love the joy, that feeling, that excitement of when you win. There's no way to explain it, which is why I put her wrestling videos up there. And she was like, yeah, you can't explain it. It's like it's a feeling you can't describe. And that's the feeling as when you do business. So with that being said, y'all, I'm glad that I was able to come on here and do this again. Thank you for those that helped me. Tell me by like, hey, look, I had a subscriber say, hey, look, I don't see you. I don't see you. And I wanted to also give you my new short channel because I'm on here doing this. Thank you for coming on here. We'd love to have learn how I can help you. But I also, if you want to go to that next level, don't be scared. Hit me up. I'm gonna put in uh my and I should have did this sooner because I already lost one person, but that's okay. They got, I understand you got to go. But I sent the link to where if you want to sit down with me, if you want me to help you work out a formula that I created to go to the next level and help you with those personal demons, this is what I'm here for. I love helping tell your story to get you to that next level because someone else needs to hear your story too. So with that, I wish you nothing but the best. Dream big, subscribe, and until next time, Godspeed.